So I know you say you have to go home, but if you can come back out, and that'd be cool. I need you to do something. This is going to be as far as going there. Ilana Moss. I was born and raised in the Bronx. Different parts. The Fordham Road area. White Plains Road. Lived in Harlem for a little while. What people would call Sugar Hill over by 145th Street. That's definitely not a touristy area. I wasn't originally from there. I had my daughter. She was 2 at the time, Dominique. They welcomed us, so the whole time I lived in Harlem, it was a great experience. I actually didn't want to leave Harlem. Situations beyond my control, but then I ended up moving back to the Bronx. And then I went to college, to Monroe College. I coach basketball. I love basketball. My daughter's a basketball player. Just loving the game, understanding it better than most men do. I wanted to prove that I can make people win. I could see talented people not gelling. I was like, you know what? I can coach them and make them win. And I did, a couple of times. I'm pretty good at watching mistakes be made and rectifying them. It took a little while for people to trust me because I'm a female, but it's cool now that everyone knows. China, which is my nickname, she's one of the best coaches out there.
Name's Irv Opon.
I'll be right back from the Bronx. We took it. We'll come back to the Bronx. Come with us. New York City.
I know Ilana, 3 years of coaching.
Loyal, passionate, assertive.
Very aggressive. But a good aggressive. I feel she could give a lot of help and assistance. She's very knowledgeable, supportive, and she's definitely going to tell you like it is. She's not going to sugarcoat nothing. She can lead people into the right direction and make their situation better.
Dominique is 21. She's a senior in college. LIU, she's on the dean's list. Really smart. Always been an athlete. She's always been an honors student.
Does pretty good. She actually played in the tournament with us in the summer, in the Gardner tournament.
And I think it's pretty hard to be a full-time athlete and a full-time student.
She's hands-on with her daughter. She supports her daughter 110%. Whether it be basketball, anything, she's there. She's a friend, a mother. Couldn't ask for a better mother.
Whatever she wants. If it's in my power to get it or give it to her, I usually do. My dad wasn't around. I have a brother, but he wasn't around. The father of my daughter, who was my boyfriend at the time, he was cool. He was a supporting boyfriend. That relationship ended a year after my daughter was born. I felt like he wasn't trying to grow up. He was a nice guy. He was cool, but I needed him to be a man. We went our separate ways, but he was always in her life. His mother cared for my daughter so that I can go to school every day, and if I worked, so that I can work. He had always been around.
I am John Martin Green, an educator, a theater director, singer. Ilana is my second cousin, but I think of Ilana as my niece. Ilana is intelligent, resourceful, has a huge heart, a wry wit, vivacious, and an extraordinary mother. Particularly considering the fact that she, starting at like 15, began raising Dominique pretty much on her own.
I just kept acting like I didn't know I was pregnant. The 5th month, I was going to the doctor and I was a minor. They needed my mother to sign some stuff, so they told me, we're going to schedule you for a sonogram. We need your mother to come and sign off. And I was like, okay. I went to Anthony's house, Dominique's father, and I said, okay, today's the day we have to tell. I actually didn't show that I was pregnant until I was about 7.5 months, maybe 8. She went with me to the doctor. The sonogram showed that baby was fully formed with fingers and toes and hair. It didn't matter. She was there and she wasn't going anywhere. She assumed that I wouldn't go to school and a bunch of stuff. She said I was vain, that I wouldn't handle the things that I needed to handle, which was absolutely not true. I went to school every day till I started showing, which was at the end of the pregnancy, and they told me to stay home. I think I had her maybe a week later. I was back in school a week after that. I went to school every day, came home, straight home, no extracurricular. I didn't care about anything except going to class and coming home to my daughter every day. I was always a good student, but I was a troubled kid because I was an abused kid. I went through a lot. I lost my grandmother at 14 years old, probably the most devastating thing in the world. In my eyes, the only person who loved me. She was everything. She used to ask me things to make sure that I was okay mentally and emotionally. She taught me about my hygiene. Any great experience in life before becoming a mother was at the hands of her. When I lost her, I didn't care about much of anything. But before I lost her, because of all the crazy stuff that went on in my home, I acted out a lot.
It was rough. Her mother, my cousin, who was kind of like an older sister, was attempting to raise Ilana, the last of her children, and her siblings on her own. Jackie, Ilana's mom, was not, by my recollection, the mothery mother type. While she was not without maternal instincts, those instincts were not chief among those which Jackie operated from. I think that for that, Ilana felt as if she was left to her own devices a lot more than she would otherwise like to have been.
I fought a lot. I stayed out all night. I got into things that I had no business getting into at 12 and 13 years old. I got in trouble in school when people would tease me about the way I talk or my teeth or about me being tall. I didn't like being made fun of. So if you teased me or you made fun of me, I pretty much would jump up and most likely kick your ass. And I would get in trouble. That animosity absolutely stemmed from areas at home. I wasn't showed love, told I was loved. Whatever attention that I got at home was negative attention. I was hurt mentally, physically, emotionally, and sexually at home. When I came outside, I didn't care about my actions. Fighting, walking around with knives and razor blades. I even walked around with guns that belonged to other people. If I would have got caught, it just would have been horrible. I just did stuff without thinking. Things for people who I thought cared about me. Stupid things. I got nothing from home. Nothing positive. No love, support, encouragement, reassuring that people had my back. I got all of that in the street. If the streets would be considered a drug, then I was hooked on that. When I became pregnant, I made the decision to just stop being foolish and careless and reckless. Someone's gonna look to you for their life. Someone's gonna need to be loved by you and taken care of by you, regardless of the fact that no one took care of you and no one loved you, and you probably not gonna have too much help, but you gotta be better. I made a decision. I was just gonna stick to it. I'm gonna take care of this kid, and I'm gonna love this kid, and I'm gonna get my education.
Ilana is a shining example of beautiful black womanhood. I have tremendous respect and admiration for baby sister, because again, and I'm sure my cousin Jackie would have or does have a different recollection, but by my reckoning and recollection, left largely to her own devices.
I try to find hobbies, be around people that like to do things that I like to do, and I used to love to run. I was the fastest kid in the school. I ran in this competition called the Colgate's Women's Games. I think my mother made it to one meet, running, trying to run away from all the bad things that happened, trying to run in the opposite direction, run towards something better.
The bitterness that I perceive Ilana to have felt through much of the early years of her adulthood spurred her to be a model mother. I think she decided that she would be the counterpoint to her mother's mothering.
I'm doing everything that I wasn't shown. I knew what I was missing my whole life, so I knew that she wasn't going to miss it. Dominique wasn't going to be missing love, attention, investment, support, clean clothes, great hygiene, combing her hair. Like, it was a time when my mother just stopped combing my hair. I was like in the 3rd grade. You know, my older sister didn't comb it. I had to comb it. Like, what is this? And I had a lot of hair. Part of me was like, they wish I wasn't here. They're hurting me. If I just end my life, then they win. I got stronger. Each person that brought abuse to my life, I stopped them one by one. My daughter is going to be 22.
Who's about to graduate.
She made the dean's list.
Also resourceful.
She's done so many amazing things. She's gotten full scholarships. She's won many championships. She's traveled all over the United States. She's a happy person. And that happy person came from a miserable, abused, unloved child. And I did that. Beat the people who are hurting you. You beat them by not hurting yourself.
Seek out the support of people in the environment or beyond the environment, if there aren't any in the environment, for whom you have respect and admiration. Seek out the support and encouragement of those kinds of people. To arm yourself with systems of support by which to build the kind of life that you aspire to live. And like they say, don't give up until you find those supports and use them.
Somebody will hear you if you choose to confide. Somebody will help you.
The people with whom she has worked have always cited her as a model in the work environments that she's operated in. And she continues along that trajectory. And I am excited and hopeful about her right now as she looks to go back to college. I think she wants to do social work. I am impressed at that because she's trying to help other people, and I think that's powerful.